Have you all tried your account on Dagger? Dagger 2.0? May I know if you have signed in? Sinabre. Yes. Sinabre, can you show me your camera?
Wala pa po ito, sir.
Okay. Sige. Okay. So there's supposed to be 25 of you here. For the moment, 13 people are present. So 12 people are absent. So Amalingan is here. So nalagdagan pa. Okay. Anyone else? Matayabas?
Sir, Bitong, sir.
Yeah, Bitong. Called for your name earlier. And then,
Present si Matayabas, sir.
yes. Okay, and anyone else? So this is IT2243 for second year BSIT students. I think you're all, let me check. You're all second year. No, some are third year. No, they follow. So this is for mostly BSIT students. Let me look up for your curriculum so that I will know. 2019 yung curriculum ninyo, no? Ano? Right? BSIT 2019, is that correct? BSIT 2019. Yeah. You started 2019. Okay, so I'll just would like to check what we have taken up so far. So you had in computer programming 1, right? What language were you using? May I ask anyone? What language did you use in computer programming 1? Because as I've learned, no, not everyone uses the same language. The language used this year was C++. Last year it was Java. Sometimes it's no. So C++, no. Sometimes it could be Python. Programming 2. Is there a programming 2? Yes, by the second semester. And you had during the first semester you had web systems and technologies 1. Hindi ako pinaturo nito last semester. That's because I was heavy already. And then you had information management, which is databases, right? SQL. But you will have fundamentals of database systems by the second sem. Ito ang problema ngayon, no? Okay? We may overlap, but we'll have something else, no? Here. Okay. Ngayon, meron kayong fundamentals of database systems. Is that correct? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
So who's the teacher here?
Sir Albiola, sir.
So what are you, have you started already? Ano kayang tinuturo dito? I taught this last year. Anong content dito? It was database application. So anyway, no problem, no? You may have your own, but our we are IT elective 2. This is the elective 1, no? So this is Windows programming applications development, right? So and during our meeting, I was informed that we could also take up, you know, SQL store procedure. Okay. If we could also finish, it's good, no, that I've known that you are taking fundamentals of database systems, because we could also use SQLServer. No. So I know basically what the contents are, no, from this point. No? Okay. You have applications development with emerging technologies, right? I was teaching this in the other, no? I was the one teaching this in the other class. Okay, but anyway, that's not relevant. So if you look at our we will be using Visual Studio. Is there a new Visual Studio? Wala pa, no? 2021 pa lang ngayon. Okay.
I think may 2022 na, sir. Yan.
Ah? Wala pa tayong Visual Studio 2022. It's not official yet. Right? It's only a preview. Okay? So we will still be using Visual Studio 2019. You follow? Did you watch this video? Can you watch this yourself? Can you take note of installing your Visual Studio Community Edition? Because I've already installed mine many times. Is it okay? Kayo na bahala nito mag-install, okay? It's not your first time. There's a video here. I have done my installation several times, so many times already, okay? So I'm not sure if I will still get the same set. Kasi ang dami nang naka-install. Okay? You could also, I have a Visual Studio 2017 Enterprise Edition if you'd like to have this. But sabay pareho lang, no? Because if you'll be using ASP.NET, you'll still be using the pareho lang sila. The difference between 2019 and 2017 is in the web app development, but in terms of Windows, they are the same. Okay. So this will be our set of topics. We will start with the installation of Visual Studio. Okay. And then you will install SQLServer Management Studio and SQLServer 2016 Express Edition. Can you also take note of, can you also take charge of this? Okay. Express Edition lang tayo. The version here is not very much important because we will not be dealing so much with SQL. No, anyway. You know MySQL already, right? Everyone? Okay. Okay. So we'll be discussing, tanggalin ko na nga itong bad from my previous ano. From my previous classes. Okay, ito. Okay, if we have time, no? I hope we have time. Kailangan ba ito? I will include more topics, no? Like ASP.NET. Okay. So you will be doing individual activities as we go along each topic. Okay. I will insert the activities one by one as we go along. And then it will be part of your grade. The activities, no, will be graded. And then in the end, I will group you into groups of threes. Okay. Where each member will have each group will have 3 members, and you will create a project. No, a C#. I hope you can do also an ASP.NET, no, project. Sana kaya, no? Okay, where you create a real application, okay, in Windows. Okay, which will become, by the way, the final basis of one of the basis of your grades. It's a final project. So performance assessment we will not have a summative assessment, but we will have a performance assessment. It is a group project that you will present. Okay, we will schedule the presentation. Is that okay? No? At the end of the semester, and the rubrics is already here. Okay. The rubrics is here. Now, what is the significance of this elective? This is if you look at your curriculum, this is in the next few subjects which you will take will be project-based subjects, no? Like in the first semester you will be wala pa kayong SAD, no? Project. But I think nandito tayo ngayon IT elective 1. Second semester na tayo, di ba? Bakit IT elective 2? Am I looking at the correct BS Information Technology. Yes, that's correct. IT elective 1, okay? So this is elective 2 is different. I'm sorry, I missed the point, no? So later, no? You will have a capstone project next year. Almost at the same time during this semester. Do you follow? So this will be in preparation for that course. You will be developing a database project, an actual database project, okay, on an actual business, no? A business system, and one of your main options will be to use Visual Studio. Okay, it's a good thing because I have prepared an example for ordering, no? Making supplier orders. Okay, so that will become a basis of your. In this case, in our course, I'm going to introduce how transactions are done. I'm going to demonstrate only one transaction, which is ordering, and you will produce others, no? Using that example, other transactions like customers sales, no? delivery orders, okay, and so on and so forth. Because by the second semester next year, you will have a capstone project. Ito. Do you follow? Everyone? Do you get my point? So this is in preparation for that capstone project. In fact, bakit hindi nakaano IT2242 is not? What is IT2242? 2243 lang ang nilagay. 2242, but IT2243, which is our course, should be a prerequisite. Mali ito, no? 2243 ito. Do you follow? Because statistics itong 2242. Do you follow? This is a mistake. This should be 2243. I'll inform the chairman about this, okay? So any questions so far? Okay. Have you done Visual Basic? Are you sure, no? Matagal kasi itong matagal itong installation ng Visual Studio 2019. Do you follow? It will take about 2 to 3 hours. In fact, in my case, I did it overnight. Kasi it will get a download. It will get a heavy download from the net before it starts. Okay? You will have to install Visual Studio 2019. Okay, and you will have to install SQLServer 2019 and SQLServer Management Studio. Okay? So nandito, no? Okay? So this will take you about half a day. At least, no? But I think it will take you more time, no? Depending on the speed of your internet. Do you follow? Kailangan kaya natin itong because I've already installed my ano. Let me check no if we can do the installation today. Okay. I have another PC which I haven't installed yet. I'll check if we can do the installation there, okay? Kasi mahaba pa naman oras natin. Our scheduled time is 1 to 6. Okay, but we'll only do lecture from 1 to 3. Okay, the 3 to 6 is actually 3 no 5 4 5 6 1 to 4 no 1 to 4 yung ating lecture, and then 5 and 6 will be your lab schedule. Do you follow? Bear with me a while. I'm going to check my other PC now if we can do the installation. Andali lang no? Okay. I have another PC. I'll try to see if I can do the installation there, okay? Because the installation of the is a little complicated. Have you done this before anyway? SQL Server. You've done MySQL, right? Everyone? You've done MySQL, right? So we will install SQL Server. What is SQL Server? SQL Server is the SQL database platform of Microsoft. Okay? You're supposed to have included this because Microsoft is one of the industry standards, no? Especially locally in the Philippines, where a lot of businesses are using Microsoft products. Abroad, maybe not the same, but in the Philippines, no, so many businesses, schools, no, even Ateneo itself is using MS SQL Server as the back end. Do you follow? Do you get my point? So let me try if I can. No? For a while now.
Sir,
Yes.
pwede mag-ask, sir.
What is that?
Nagkuhan ako yung gisunod ko yung sa site ko, sir, pero nag-wonder ako kasi yung nagpakita ko sa step kay ISO. What if kung wala ang ISO, sir, like Azure lang siya or Excel lang ang nagalabas?
I will find out. No, I'll show you that. No, no.
Thank you, sir.
Kita ko na lang ha para everybody can see. Okay. Sandali lang because I'm trying to configure my remote access. Anyway, you have time today. So anyway, what's my ano? IP address is that 19, okay? Remote desktop. Okay, let me check if I can do remote desktop connection to that PC. Okay. Can you see the screen? Dali lang, no? Can you see the screen? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is a new PC, no? Which has no installation. It's a good thing I have this. So we can start doing our installation. No? From time to time, I will have to shift to a different PC, no? Makita nyo dito, di ba? Makita nyo pa rin? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because here's the, no? I'm doing remote desktop, so the screen may switch from one point to another. So anong unahin natin? Visual Studio, matagal ito eh. Okay. Then we have a website. Anyway, we have time today, no? If we'll take until 5 o'clock, it's okay. So ito, no? We are going to download Visual Studio. Okay. 2022. I'm not sure if ano. Okay. 2022 na, pero anyway, if it installs 2022, then we'll just make do with it. Okay? So 2019 lang muna kasi ano pa eh, no? Pwede 2019 muna tayo. They have just launched the 2022. I haven't tried this yet. Okay? So community edition tayo, no? Okay? So let's do that in the other PC. I-google mo lang naman ito, no? You can launch, if it's an ISO, you can mount the ISO. Do you follow? Who was asking the question again before? ISO, di ba?
Yes, sir. Ako po, sir.
You can mount it and it will give you a drive.
So, same lang siya, sir. Like,
Okay. Second thing, I have another PC, no? 22. What can we get? Visual Studio 2019. Okay. Okay, hindi lang natin ito try, no? 2020. Can we just try this? 2022. I'm not sure how good this is, but I think it's worth a try, no? We'll use the community edition. Saan yung download niya? Okay, so nag-download na siya, di ba? Exe ba ang download mo? Or is it an ISO? Kasi ang ISO is
Excel dyan, sir.
Exe na, there's no problem, okay? Let me just copy this. Kasi kung ISO, you just double click the ISO, it becomes a drive. Meron pala tayong developer edition ng SQL Server. Okay, 2019. Can we just install that instead? It's good to have a copy of the installer. So there's the installer now. Right click and run as administrator. Okay. If you want to do this together, okay, you can try this with me at the same time. Right? Did you follow? Halos pareho lang. I don't think there's it's a big difference between the older version and this. Pareho lang naman eh. Okay? So I may have to remove my Visual Studio 2019. Okay? So it's all right, no? Because there's a very good update for ASP.NET 4. Okay? Space lang muna tayo. Okay. So ito yan. What do you want this for? Mas maganda kung meron tayong ASP and web development, okay? Azure tools, we are not going to use this because we are not going to connect to the cloud. Pwede naman siguro, no? Developing cloud apps. Wala pa tayo dito. Wag lang yan dahil mas mabigat. Okay. Mobile development using Xamarin. This is one. Let's just check this, no? In case we have time, we will create mobile apps. This is interesting because Xamarin is the platform in Visual Studio and it is already open source. Okay? Do you follow? Open source na ito eh. Ang hindi lang naman open source dito yung ASP.NET and ASP development. Okay? Desktop development. Okay? Can we do this? Okay? You have this. Desktop development with C++ is like console development, no? Build modern C++ using tools for choice. MSVC. Okay. Create applications for Universal Windows Platform. Can we check this? Yeah. Building Windows Platform WPF. What's WPF? Let me check. WFP ang expected ko eh. Windows Presentation Foundation. Console applications. Sige lang, i-check lang natin ito, no? For console applications, but eventually we will need desktop development. We need this, no? This is the one which we'll use. Okay. Mobile development, we'll just check this, no? Okay. Ito mobile development with .NET. Will not do any game dev. This is very heavy. Okay. Will not do any data science. Will not do this. Linux and C++. Wow. You can create an application running in Linux from Visual Studio 2020. Ang ganda siguro nito. Now let's just check this anyway, no? The more you check, the slower will be the installation. Okay, can I just chat you with the what I checked? Everyone. So first we have ASP.NET and web development. We may not have used this better, pero okay to, no? If you have time, we will include this. Two, we'll not do any Python development. Node.js, no? Hindi rin, pwede rin mag Node.js dito, no? NPM. Mobile development, we'll just check this, no? In case you want to do mobile development. Okay. .NET desktop development. Okay. Then we'll have desktop development. C# tayo eh. With C++. C# tayo, no? So most probably ito lang kailangan natin. Tanggalin na lang natin ito, no? Do you follow? Universal platform development. Windows. Okay. Tanggalin natin C++. We'll not be doing any C++. Okay. Because the more you check, the slower will be the installation process. Maganda sana itong Linux, oh. No? Create and debug applications running in Linux, which means we can make it run under Ubuntu. Okay? So any questions so far? Let's look at individual components.
Yes, sir. Question, sir.
Yes.
I currently have, sir, Visual Studio 2019. So, pag mag-download gani ako ng 2022, sir, will it overwrite the 2019 or?
Hindi niya overwrite yun. It will not overwrite. It will not overwrite. You'll have to remove.
Okay, sir. So,
In
can I
my
have
case,
two things, sir? Kanang Visual
yeah,
Studio
you can have. I wag mo na lang
2019.
remove. Because in my
Okay.
case, I already have a 17 and a 2019 running at the same time.
Okay, sir.
So, wag mo na lang i-remove, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. But in our case, since there's a 22, let's use the 22, okay? I think now it's installing the Visual Studio Community 2022. Start after installation. Mabagal ito, no? Depending on the speed of your internet. And then the other thing is installation of SQL Server. Development, ano na lang tayo? Can we use SQL Server 2019 Development Edition? Okay. Mas maganda yung Developer Edition kaysa Express Edition. Okay? Kasi ang Express Edition, you can't really run it like a server. A Developer Edition is like the real thing. It's like the server, except that it's limited to a few connections. Pero all the functionality are there. Okay, I'll have to update the Daigler class. In which case, no? So what is SQL Server? MS SQL Server. It's like MySQL. Have you all used MySQL? Anyone? Everyone? Di ba? Meron kayong
Yes po, sir.
So MySQL. Did you use SQL Server? Wala. Kasi when I was teaching the information management, I used to teach both because both are SQL Server is the industry standard in our country. It's among actual companies, no? Installations like Double-Light, Unflocore, SQL Server ang ginagamit. So Ateneo de Davao uses SQL Server. Okay. So we will use that because it's an additional tool in our repository. Because the more tools we have, the better our chances will be in applying for jobs in the future, di ba? Because some jobs will require Visual Studio, some job. Now what if you're applying, for example, for a job that requires SQL Server and you only know MySQL? So mahirap. So this time I insist we will use Microsoft SQL Server. There's also a choice, no, by the way, to use Microsoft, rather MySQL. But we have done enough. I presume you've done enough. Do you know how to create stored procedures in MySQL? Hindi yun tinake up. Dito, we will be forced to take up, we'll be forced to take up stored procedures because it will be very difficult to make CRUDs, no, without using stored procedures. Okay, so mabagal ito, no? Mas mabagal pa yung SQL, I think, no? SQL. It's 8%. I hope we can do the installation at the same time, no? Pero mabibigat kasi ito eh. So anyway, earlier I told you you may have to do this, but I'll just show you, no? So you'll not get lost. Okay. So what did we install? Tinanggal na natin yung ano, no? Okay. Tinanggal natin yung unnecessary. We included ASP.NET and web development because we can use that. Mobile development with .NET. What is mobile development with .NET? It uses a platform called Xamarin. Now this is used to make mobile applications in Android and iOS. Universal Windows Platform development. I don't know what that is, but we just have to include that. .NET desktop development with C#. Okay. Okay. So yun yung gagawin natin. Okay. So since you know C++, C# is a slighter mix. C# is like C++ and JavaScript combined. Okay, and JavaScript and ano ba? Yeah, it's like C++ and JavaScript combined. Okay. It's just that Microsoft would like to create. You can also do this in Visual Basic, by the way, no? Pero Visual Basic is being phased out. It's not used in the other platforms anymore. It is only used in creating Windows applications. Okay, but no way is it used. It's no longer used in .NET development. Okay, web development, no, it's no longer used there. Although it was used in the past. No? Now, if you ask, what if you miss a point? You miss a workspace, a workload. You can just run this installer again. Click the workload that you want to add and then click install. It will not destroy your implementation. It will only add to your installation. Okay. It's a good thing I have a test PC, no, which I acquired, which I also run Ubuntu. So it's very strange, no? But Visual Studio 2022 allows you to write applications in Ubuntu. Previously, no, for Microsoft, that's a no-no because Ubuntu is a direct competitor of Windows. Eh ngayon, pumapayag na sila. Okay? That's because the other competitors like Delphi and Oracle, the enterprise suite, will target all machines, which means that in a Delphi, I'm a Delphi user, no? In Delphi, you can target the machine that you'd like your installation to run. You can target Ubuntu, you can target Mac OS, you can target Windows, no? So therefore, you will have a single source code which you can execute in different operating systems. Diba? Wonderful, which means you only have one job to do. Okay, but this time I've noticed that there's a workspace. But if there's no is there for Mac OS? I think there is, no? But there's a workspace for developing Linux applications. Wonderful. I'm sure I will try that, no? During the break. When will be our Christmas break? Anyone? Kailan yung ating Christmas break? Hindi ko pa nakita eh. Is third week or
Sa
second week?
19 po, sir.
So nasa 19. So I will give you a Merry Christmas by giving you a lot of things to do, no? Ah, anyway, it's a you. Are you allowed to go out already? Yes, you can go to the malls, right? But it's much worth a while to spend your time studying Visual Studio. All students, no, regardless whether you are IT or CS, must be familiar with Visual Studio because it's an industry standard, no? Okay. You may ask, I'm saying that because there are still Visual Basic and Visual C# applications which are being developed right now. Do you follow? There are so many projects that are still unfinished, still ongoing, even with Visual Studio 2010. Do you follow? Being used by companies, no? May mga companies that are still developing, even schools, still developing applications with Visual Studio 2010. So, hindi pa ito mawawala. Just like ASP.NET. ASP.NET is being stopped by Microsoft, no? It's transforming into a new platform called ASP.NET Core, which is open source. Microsoft is migrating into the open source, no? Kasi it cannot compete. So it will have ASP.NET Core, it will have Xamarin, no? I've taught ASP.NET Core, by the way, last year, and it's a very good platform. It's like Laravel and Django. So Microsoft is migrating into the open source, and they're stopping their proprietary platforms like ASP.NET. They haven't produced a newer version than .NET 2 point something, no? But the .NET point version 3 is already .NET Core. Okay. And maybe it's naming it as .NET 6 or .NET 5, but it's no longer .NET, the .NET that we are using. No? Okay. So medyo mabagal, no? So it's okay, no? 2022 tayo. So kaya natin ito hanggang 4 o'clock, including the, I hope, SQLServer Mat 2019. No? I've noticed this is much faster than the 2019 installer. No? Kasi yung aking installer sa 2019, ang bagal. This is a desktop, by the way, no? With 8 gig RAM. No? It has an SSD, but I removed the SSD because it's small. I've replaced it with a 1 terabyte HD, which I bought very cheaply. No? So I was able to install a Windows and an Ubuntu at the same time. No? On another hard disk, by the way. So dual boot ito. Okay. So recorded it, no? Anyway. So the options that are installed are in the chat. No? Kindly take note. I'll upload them to Dagler anyway. No? So in my case, I have a Visual Studio 2017 and a 2019 because I taught this before the pandemic, and I was also assigned to teach this last year. So 2019 yung nandoon. Kasi 2020 pa last year. So now we are 2021 and we are using the community edition for 2022. So usually, Visual Studio releases every 2 years. 2017, 2018, 2016 nag-release sila. 2010, 2012, 2016, no, hindi naman regular, no? So kung 2022, maybe the next version will be 2025. So we could use this a lot. There's not much of a difference. Anyway, I think one of the main differences is in the version of the ASP.NET, no? Kasi .NET 5, .NET 3 to 5, .NET 1 to 2 is supported in Visual Studio 2017. And .NET 3 to 5 is supported in Visual Studio 2019. And now Visual Studio 2022 announces .NET 6. Maybe it will support a .NET 6 and a .NET 7 in the future, no? Okay. We may not be using the .NET 6 yet on the web, but on the Windows apps, yes, we'll be using them. I don't believe there's a much difference. The learning curve will not be that big. Kasi when I migrated from 2017 to 2019, the migration path was very clear for me, no? The difference was very clear. So I'm not scared about upgrading to 2022. Okay. Actually, ngayon ko lang ito nakita because as I was browsing, no, I was not expecting that Visual Studio 2022 will be available for download. It was just announced. No? Ang bagal na, 36% pa tayo. And then it will take us another 2 hours for SQLServer. So have to take short breaks. No? It's very strange, no? But I was assigned to teach the applications development with emerging technologies for the CS section. I wasn't informed that there is also the same course for you. I could have just requested for both of them to be under me, but I'll have lesser preparations. But they assigned me this, no? So I wasn't aware about that. No? Problema ngayon sa department, they're not informing the teachers. They just give them the loads. So you could have coffee here, no? If you like, you could take a break. You could close your cell phone, or rather your cameras, but just stay online. Anyway, this is recorded. I don't think this is very much, this is heavier than Visual Studio 2019. I think it's time for me to get rid of my 2017. Tanggalin ko na lang because there's too much. Okay, so I hope you understand our course objectives, no? We are going to develop Windows applications in preparation for your capstone project. Okay, so I'm going to use a database to create a simple application for ordering. Okay, and printing, we'll do everything. No? Starting from encoding of items, suppliers, customers. No? This is called CRUDs, no? Applications. No? Creating CRUDs. What's CRUDs? Create, read, update. Create, read, update, delete, search. These are components that are used to develop big applications. No? When you say CRUDs, you make a CRUDs for customers. You create an app which will allow the users to access customers, do functionalities like creation of a new customer, retrieval of a previous customer, updating the information of an existing customer, deletion of customers, and searching for customers. Okay. I have a sample application for that already. No? I hope we can develop even a partial inventory. No? So 46% as of the moment, we are spending about 45 minutes, or is it 50 minutes now? Last year was different because I was using a slower internet connection. Yeah, it took me an overnight. Ngayon, it's 47% after 50 minutes, maybe 50% after 1 hour. Okay. So 2 hours, bagal. And then we still have to install SQLServer. Okay, are you doing this at the same time with me? Everyone? Or is there someone doing this at the same time?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
So what is your rate? What percent are you in already? Anong percent na?
5% installing, sir.
5%. Wow. Sige lang, kung hindi matapos, you just leave it overnight. Anyway, it's a Friday, no? Okay? Because the last time I installed Visual Studio 2019, I really spent overnight. Iniwan ko na lang. Tinulugan ko na lang muna, binalikan ko na lang kinabukasan, okay? Kinabukasan ko na binalikan. I'm not doing, in my current connection, no, I'm not alone. There are 3 of us being currently connected. My children are also doing online classes. So they're also eating a lot of the bandwidth, but I'm at 52%. So I think I'm running well. No? Much faster maybe than what you have there. I am connected. Ang aking is 80 Mbps. Okay. 52% after 1 hour. So it will probably take 1 hour more. It's done with the downloading anyway. No, it may not take 1 hour. Okay. Pagka matatapos na ito, in less than an hour. No? Kasi bumilis na siya. It's no longer downloading. It's already on the installing part. So okay na ito. Visual Studio 2022 tayo. I'll just use my other PC. No? I'll get rid of my older versions later. No? %68%. Okay. So your grade, I haven't decided it yet. No. So nowadays we are allowed, unlike last year, no, we are only allowed to use the final assessment to be the basis of your grade. Now we are allowed to use the formative assessments. No? So your activities will be part of the grade. I'm not sure if you're allowed to use the attendance as part of the grade yet. But regardless, we will just use the activities and your final. So you think of your own groupings, okay? you figure out a grouping with your classmates, no? 2 of your other classmates, and then I'll collect the groupings maybe next week, okay? You organize the groupings, I'll group you into your desired groupings on Daigler, no? So that you will have to pass the final project only once, no? Sana kaya natin na mag-web development, no, using the ESP.NET, kahit .NET lang. I think we can, no? At this point. Depending on how fast you are, no? Kasi interesting din mag-ano, ASP.NET. Now, ASP.NET has been stopped by Microsoft, yung original na ASP.NET, because the open source ASP.NET is also now being called ASP.NET. No? Pero yung original ASP.NET Windows Forms or form-based ASP.NET has been stopped by Microsoft. However, it will not go out of the market yet. Why? Because like C#, no? There are thousands of ongoing projects or projects that are still ongoing with ASP.NET. No? In fact, I have seen an ERP called Acumatica, and based on its output, I can say that the platform used is ASP.NET. And the sad thing is, the old ASP.NET, the versions 1 and 2, cannot be migrated to ASP.NET 3 to 5. No? Hindi mo pwedeng i-migrate yun doon. Okay. They are totally different platforms. Okay. You can upgrade your .NET 3 to .NET 4, .NET 4 to .NET 5, but the versions 1 to 2, which are very popular, no? By the way, very popular, no? Cannot be upgraded to .NET 3 or .NET Core. Because there are no longer forms, no? Wala nang forms doon. Okay? Hard coding na doon sa .NET Core. Finally, we are na 98%. Okay. 554 or 559. 99%, and it tells you this will still take a while. Okay. It's finishing up, but this may take a while. Now it will restart, no? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Our Zoom will not restart. The PC will restart, but our Zoom will not. Let me check my, sorry. SQL Server Developer Edition. There are many editions for SQL Server, no? May Express 2019. Oh, pwede pa tayo sa 2019, okay? Pwede pa tayo sa SQL Server 2019. Meron na namang 2022. Okay? Sige lang, dito lang muna tayo sa 2019, okay? Developer at SQL Server 2019, it's on the front page. You can download this. Can you download this? No? I already have downloaded this myself. I'll just transfer it anyway. Transfer ko na lang, no? Let me find some. Anything I can use. Unfortunately, wala na akong USB. Let me find out if I can use this. Linux Mint pala ito. I have a Linux Mint. Installer.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, magpasok daw si Christian Dave Sikat, sir.
Oh, yeah, yes, I'm sorry, no. See cut. I'm sorry, I got lost. Installers, we need SQL Server. (2016). Mag-download na lang tayo ng bago. Where is that? Baka nandito lang sa aking ano, no? Si Sikat. Meron na akong 2019 Developer Edition, okay? Which I've downloaded from this. Do you follow? Not now, maybe later, okay? We just start this anyway, no? So pwede na, but it's like Git. I haven't tried this, no? Yet, but I'm sure it's like Git because you can clone a repository. Oh yeah, you can really develop your like GitHub or Azure DevOps. No, pwede mong i-store yung project sa GitHub. Okay, let's create a new project. Continue without code na lang. File. New project. Okay, so this is it now, no? Let me check if we can create .NET Core web app. Yeah, this is the most popular console app. Azure functions. We need a project that where we can create Windows applications, okay? Desktop. Ito, no? Windows Forms app. Okay? You should have this. Apply a project template. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Long-term support of .NET 6. I'll check your attendance in a short while. No? Mabagal. Anyway, it's because maybe my memory is 8 gig. No? And I'm using an old hard disk. Okay. Paano ba to? Okay, form view. I forgot this already, okay? Let's run this. Okay, kani ma-run. Ay, dito ang run, okay? The form view, I cannot seem to have access over form view. O sticker. Yan, that's the form, no? Let's transfer to form view. Visual Studio 2022. Okay, so this is now your Windows application running. Let's try to access this by phone. Ano nga ito? I forgot already. This is form 1. Okay, anyway, no, I'll discuss this next meeting, no? Creating the form and adding components to the form. Okay. This is a slightly different environment, but I think pareho lang naman ito, no? Hindi ko makita yung form view, but I will do that later, no? Okay. Okay. So anyway, because let me open my Visual Studio 2019, okay? Kasi sa Visual Studio 2019, it's like this. Ito yung 2019 version, no? So, the ano, okay? The environment is the same. This is much more color. Maybe I've chosen a different theme, no? Okay, so we'll just have, this is my Visual Studio 2019. No, I'll look for my projects later. No, so halos pareho lang naman sila. Iba lang yung theme dito. Okay. So do you follow? No. Okay. So ito, no? Do you follow? Let me run that. The theme is different. It's a dark theme. Can we change this? I'll find that out later, okay? How to change the theme, but they're even exactly the same. I think they're the same. I look at this later, no? I look at this later, but if you look at the arrangement, they're really just the same. Okay, any questions? Any questions so far? So I'll check your attendance, okay? First. Please, I forgot. The lead dig, are you there?
Present, sir.
Francisco, Federico. I've emailed everyone, right? Mendoza, Aaron John, Nuhapa, Ostique.
Present, sir.
Rabi, si Amalingan, yan. Almerol,
Present ang malingan, sir.
yeah. Asi, Mendoza, Nuhapa, are you there? Rabe, Robledo, I have it. These are new students for me. Sikat is an old student. Sikat, are you there? Tejano, Velasco is here. Okay. So anyway, the next thing to do is install SQL Server Developer Edition. Okay. 3 things to do, no? The Developer Edition and the SQL Server Management Studio. Okay. Meron na tayo dito. Natapos na tayo dito. Okay. I have downloaded this before, so let me just run this, no? This is the installer. I'll just run this as administrator. Na DC. What do you mean by na DC? DC means disconnect. Okay. Sige lang. Hindi talagang ganun. Anyway, yeah. I've recorded this anyway, no? So we are now installing the second component, which is SQL Server 2019. Okay. So sikat na-disconnect. Sige lang. So are you still installing? No? Basic lang tayo dito. Okay? Basic na lang. Accept. Install. Okay? Okay. So tapusin lang natin itong installation, no? And then that will be up for now. Okay. And then I'll give you your first activity next meeting. Grabe yung Microsoft, no? It's 2021 and they're releasing 2022. Anyway, it's December already.
Sir,
Yes?
by group na yung first activity,
No,
sir.
only the final activity, okay?
Ay.
The initial activities are individual, so that you will have to do things yourselves. No? The final activity will be by group. Okay? Make clear? No?
Basic lang yung dito sa concern na sa SQL, sir, no?
Oh, basic lang.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Developer edition tayo, no? You can also use the Express edition, but this is better. This looks like the real edition, okay? The Enterprise edition. So programming tayo dito, no? This is a programming course. By the way, no? Did you use the SCOT database in your SQL? Everyone? Did you use the SCOT database and the exercises in SCOT? It's a very yes. Did you use the SCOT database? Kasi gusto ko sana i-install dito ngayon. No? So we could make queries. No? Mas mabagal ito. The download is successful, but it didn't show any any progress. My SQL is much faster to install. Nandito pa siya, maybe 10%. Okay. So we are using Visual Studio 2022 and SQL Server 2019. Still okay, no? Because we don't need a recent version for SQL Server. In fact, the old version is good enough. Please do this during the weekend, okay? So you can start the activity by next week. Anyway, we still have one whole week, no? Wala pa namang activity. So you can do this over the week. So maybe what we'll do is your activities you'll upload to GitHub. No? Para doon ko i-check. Di ko na i-save sa hard disk. Di follow? Doon ko na kukunin yung mga source code. So I may not have to store a lot of source codes from you. So it's amazing, no? Visual Studio allowing or accessing GitHub repositories. They used to be enemies. Now they're friends. So connection string, whatever it is, okay. Now you can now install SSMS here. You click this SQL Server Management Studio. This will be your what do you call that in MySQL? MySQL, what's the tool? Workbench. Do you follow? You install SSMS. SSMS, you can install separately, no? By the way, meron na ako, no? I-download mo pa rin pala, no? Ina-download mo pa rin pala. Anyway, I have my downloaded my SQL Server Management Studio. I'll just run this. Can we just customize this for the moment? Okay. Customize muna natin, ha? Use Microsoft Update to check for updates. Ano? So ito na, hindi pa pala tapos. Okay. Windows Firewall, it's okay, no? If you want to access the server over the network, you have to open the port. I forgot the port number, but we can do that later, no? Now here it is, no? Perform an installation of SQL Server 2019. 2019, yes, this is because it's no. Okay. Okay. So we perform a new installation. Okay. Specify an edition. This is the developer. Okay. You accept the terms and conditions. Okay. Now, we need database engine services. That's all we need. Client tools, no? Can you check that out, no? What's client tools SDK? You just click this, no? Baka luma yung ating ating client tools. We don't need an analysis service because this is not an actual database. Okay. Just click next. So, named instance, we'll call this, you give this a name, no? SQL Server 001, okay? Named instance, that's by default. You will connect to this server using that name, SQL Server 0001, okay? Database engine is automatic, this manual. Browser, if you enable this, your SQL Server will be visible on the network. Let's just enable this. Disable lang, we'll just enable it during runtime, no? Pwede naman natin yung i-change. Windows authentication mode. Now, what do we mean by this? The authentication mode. When you say Windows authentication mode, the username you are using on the Windows authentication mode is the one which is used. However, this is only useful if you are using a single desktop. In my case, I have two desktops and I want to connect to my SQL Server from a different computer. You have to specify this, no? Mixed mode. And you will have to specify a password for the system administrator or SA account. Do you follow? Now, in my SQL, what is the equivalent account? In my SQL, it's called root. Do you follow? Everyone? Are you still listening? Sa my SQL, ang tawag root. Right? Dito ang tawag SA. Okay? You specify a password. You just add current user as the administrator. Because it will run. It will run this, it will run this service using the user account. There's only one user account, by the way, no? The one I used to log in. So matatagalan din tayo dito. Hindi pa nag-install yung SQL Server Management Studio, no? I hope you are following, no? So it should be a named instance and it should be a mixed authentication mode, which means that you can log in as a Windows user or you can log in as an SQL Server user. You know what Windows users are, diba? Those that are listed as users in your Windows machine. You can also have another set of users for SQL Server, which you can use to log into SQL Server on the network, right? Have you used creating a separate MySQL user? No? Over the network? That's the same thing. So medyo this is a long and arduous process, no? Task. Bagal ito. Lalo na dati, no? When I have a slow internet, I have to work on this overnight. I don't even demonstrate this on class. So ngayon, at least I've demonstrated it. You know the flow. Okay. Yes. Now we proceed with the SMS setup, which was suspended. No, sinuspend niya. Ngayon we are now logging in as no, SQL Server Management Studio. It's with Azure Data Studio. So it means that you can connect to an Azure database online, no? Which means if you have an Azure account, you can make a database there and connect to it online. So pwedeng ang yung database is on the net. Are you having coffee there?
Ngapit na, sir.
Malapit na lagi. But it's always like that, no? Matagal, but you will enjoy this. Okay? It's enjoyable at the end. Difficult at the start.
Pa-Christmas break po ka, sir.
What's the break on Christmas? Di ba? What can you go to? Are the resorts open na ba? Pwede na ba tayo mag-ano? I don't want to spend Christmas in the malls. I want to
Pwede
go
naman,
outside.
sir.
Okay. I haven't gone to a resort for. I have gone once, no, last year. So maybe more than a year. No, hindi ako nakano. So I have been very bored, no. Nandito na lang ako palagi sa ano. I only go out, no, to buy groceries, ganun lang, and then go out, go home quickly. I don't linger too long. Sometimes I go to Ateneo and then go home immediately. Now, have you gone to Ateneo?
Yes, sir. Ito
Diba,
nagbayad.
lungkot-lungkot doon, walang tao. Sometimes I go there to arrange something. So, ganun lang. So anyway, most of the time I spend reading, no, studying Visual Studio, studying JavaScript. So, marami rin ako natutunan, but I'm very bored already. I want to go out. Maybe I'll go home to the province on Christmas for a few days. Okay. They follow. They are planning to have this course on blended learning. Do you get my point? Diba? but I doubt if it will start this semester. In blended learning, students will be required to go to the lab face to face to perform the student activities. Okay? Do you follow? How do we know that we are successful here? If you go to services, no? Look at the services of your computer. Do you know how to check if MySQL is running on your computer? You check the services. Now, if MySQL is running, it will be there, indicated there, that a service called MySQL is running. Now in here, we will check if SQL Server is running. We'll go to S. It's not Microsoft SQL Server, but SQL Server. Now there it is, no? SQL Server 0001. This is the name of our SQL Server. It's already running, no? Okay. 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 The agent is not running, which means this will be the one for checking in. Now let's check. Let's try to connect. We can connect using SQL Server Management Studio. Ito. Now we can send this. We can pin this to the taskbar. So we have it here. Okay. Okay. Now there it is. No, it reads your server. You can log in as Windows authentication. Okay. Right away you can create a database. Do you follow? Now by using this part, the Object Explorer, we can just open, no, and then right click new database. Okay. We'll give it a name. So we'll say Scott. You have a new database, right? And then you can open the tables. You can create a new table. So we'll say emp. Emp, no? Did you use this? Varchar, shall we say integer? Int yata eh. Int. With a big int, no? Big int is 64-bit int. Int, there it is, no? Key name. You know this, right? Varchar?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
What if workbench na lang gamitin, sir?
You cannot connect Workbench to SQL Server.
Ay, okay, so thank you, sir.
So anyway, this is the equivalent, no? Do you follow? This is the equivalent. You click save. We call this emp. Okay. This is the equivalent. Okay. So now we can refresh our tables. We now have the emp table. Okay. We can add. We can double click. Maybe we can we add? Edit top 100 rows. No? Emp no number 10. De la Cruz. Depth no. Shall we say in depth 100. Okay. Emp no 20. Marasigan. 200. Okay, you click this now. This is saved. And now you can open a new query like this. You can say select star from M. And then you can run the query by this execute button. That's why you have it there. Okay? Do you follow? Do you get my point? You know what select is, right? Okay, you can say update emp set. Emp yung pangalan ng ating table, di ba? Okay. Depth no equals 300, where emp no equals 20. You know this, right? Everyone, what does this mean? Update emp set depth no equals 300, where emp no equals 20. You didn't take this up? Please tell me, no? So I will explain. I assume you know this. Okay. You click run, and when you say select star from emp. Okay, it changes from 300 to ano. Any questions so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Unsa mga statements sir nga kalahian sa SQL ug sa MySQL?
Halos pareha lang.
Halos lahat, sir.
Halos lahat. But many of the queries, like mga join queries, magkaiba sila sa mga special joins, no? You know, a left join and a right join. Let's do ano, gawa nga tayo ng bagong table. New table. You have to go to tables and then click new. Okay. Depth no. Did you use this? This database? Name. Varchar 50. Okay. Location. Varchar 100. Did you use this database, everyone?
Wala lagi mga options diya sir nga kanang unique key or foreign key or
Okay. You want options? Okay. You can refresh. Okay. You can do a design dito. A design. Okay. Nandito yung options, no? Now, if you want to use foreign keys, no? Kailangan mo nung you will need a diagram. Kailangan mo gumawa ng ERD. Can we do that? New. How do we make a diagram here? I'll show you that next meeting, okay? Paano gumawa ng foreign keys. Okay? Accounting. Davao. 200. Sales. Cebu. 300. Human resource. Personnel na lang. Personnel department. Would you like this to be? Okay. We just save. No, okay na yata to. No. So select all employees and their departments. Select E dot emp no E dot E name D dot depth no D dot D name D dot lock from emp E left join depth D on E dot depth no equals D dot depth no. Okay, do you follow? Kailan ko bang palakihin? Can you see the query? Execute. Now, these are the list of employees the employees they belong, and the location of their offices. Diba? Pareho lang. No danger, no? Don't be scared. They're the same. Okay? Hindi ko pa makita yung pag-ano ng mga primary keys, no? Let's go to the design again. Or is it here? Or is it there, no? Sa design. Basta meron yan, no? Identity specification. Primary key. Now, I think you can set this as primary key. No? So, okay. And then the other one. Yes. Bakit ayaw niya ma-save, no? Design. We'll set this as the primary key. Nandito na. Makuha na. Alam ko na, no? Hindi ko alam. I'm not sure why it's like this, no? Design. Okay, na ano na siya. You notice, you can look at this, no? And the relationships. Now, let me go to emp, no? And then, in the emp, there's a dep, no, right? Which is a foreign key. Itong dep, no, gusto natin itong gawing foreign key. And then emp is our primary key. Okay? And then, we want this as our relation, set our relationship. Add a relationship. Okay? So dito, no? This is a primary key, and then we'll add another. This is we rename this. Paano ba ito ma-rename? This is not identity. We'll just delete this, no? This is where you set the indices, no? We give this a name, IXMP depth. This is no. Mali, no. How do we set this as a foreign key? We go to relationships. Okay. So we specify the table. The primary key table is depth. Okay. The foreign key table is emp, no. Okay. And the what do you call this? This is a foreign key, no? So the primary key table is depth. The key on depth, no. The foreign key table is emp. Depth and do not match existing unique. Dapat naka-unique pala yung ano, depth. Okay? Nawala yung kanyang primary key. I'll solve this, okay? Kasi kailangan itong may configure tayo dito eh, no? I'll solve this. Kailangan i-configure. Let's do that again. Basta may kailangan i-configure dito sa ano. Let's just go, let me Google this. Okay. May kailangan i-configure dito sa SQL Server. Okay. Sa tools, options, prevent saving. Okay. So, ito ang kailangan, no? You have to set. Kasi may makulit siya na, may makulit na, na message. This is how to remove that annoying message, no? You go to tools, options, designers, no? Tools, options, wala lang ha. It's tools, options, and under options, click designers. Okay. Nasaan na ngayon yung designers? Ito. Okay. Designers. Prevent saving changes that require auto creation. Okay. Kailangan mo lang itong i-click. Okay. I don't think you have to restart, no? We can set this as primary key. We save. So nawala na, di ba? Okay. You test this yourself and then just Google the, no? And then just Google the error and it will show you what to do. Okay. So we'll set the relationship. The name emp depth. Okay. FK means foreign key. Okay. Enforce replication. Insert and update specification. What kind of rule you like? On delete, no action. On update. What's on update? Cascade. Okay. You know this, no? Bakit ayaw, no? Kasi wala pa tayong foreign key. Bakit ayaw, no? Ito pala, no? This one. You just click this. So baka baligtad tayo, no? The primary key table is depth. Okay. The primary key table is emp. So it should be depth. Kasi dapat dito, depth, no? Okay, the foreign key table is emp. It resides as a foreign key and depth, no? Okay, do you follow? Ito yung relationship. Close. Okay, so meron na tayong foreign key. Can we do that? Relationships again. Okay, no? They follow. And then we can have the integrity constraints, no? On delete, we do not allow. Wala siyang no action is no action, ano? Not allowed, I think, no? On update, we say cascade. Okay. Do you follow? No? Everyone? You know the integrity constraints? On insert and update, on delete. No action means do not allow, which means we will not allow deletion of a department if employees belong to the department. But when a department number is updated, all the employees belonging to the same department will also be cascaded with the update, with the corresponding update. Okay, so my SQL yan, delete rule is do not allow. Okay, and update rule is still cascade. Okay, any questions? No? Okay. So can you do this? Wala na tayong SQL command line dito, no? This is not my SQL, okay? This looks like my SQL, no? But this is not, they're like this is like a different brand. Okay, this is a different brand, no, of soft drink. You are used to drinking Coke, now we are using Pepsi. Okay, do you follow? Wala tayong may SQL command line dito. We only use the SQL Server Management Studio. Any questions, everyone? Ano po ang difference nila ng SQL Server at saka MySQL? Parang Coke and Pepsi nga. No? Libre yung Pepsi, binibenta yung Coke. Pwede ba yung ganun? Open source, libre. Okay? Actually, marami nga ito sila di ba? When I taught this, no, nung ako pang nagtuturo, I will teach this both so that students will identify the difference between the two. Actually, meron pang pangatlo, PostgreSQL. Do you follow? Which you will use most probably when you are using Django. Okay? Django, you can use PostgreSQL. And then, I have a different set of students for information systems. No? We are using an application called Udo, which is written in Python and uses PostgreSQL. Marami kasing brands, no? Katulad ng, there are how many brands of toothpaste? You have Colgate, Close Up, Pepsodent. What else do you have? How many brands of laundry soap? You have, ano ngayon? Tide. Basta maraming brands, di ba? So magkakaibang brands sila. Okay? So I want you to use this so you'll have a taste of a different brand para malaman natin kung sinong mas masarap. Okay? Not really, but what we'll be trying to find out is who performs better. Di ba? Any questions so far? Okay. So these are the tools we need. We need SQL Server Management Studio. We need SQL Server, Developer Edition, and we need Visual Studio 2022. Okay na yan, no? Kahit hindi tayo naka 2019. Okay na yan. We'll find out, no? So I think we can manage. I highly believe I can manage, no? Because I've done so many things in Visual Studio already. Even from Visual Studio 2010. I have used Visual Studio 2010, 2012, 2016, 2017, 2019, and lately 2022. Okay. I've used that because I'm teaching. No? I'm not using it because I'm a programmer. No? I'm using a different tool when I'm writing programs. Okay. So, see you next meeting. Is it all right? Can you do this? Huh?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, saan mo saan mo i-upload yung video, sir? Yung recorded video.
Doon sa ating daycare. May daycare site na tayo.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I'll record this and see to it. Maybe matagal ito, no? Kasi this is 2-3 hours, no? I'll upload this tonight, okay?
Okay, sir. Next Friday na
Yes,
naman ulit yung sir? Meeting.
Ha?
Next Friday ulit yung meeting.
Oh, next Friday. We meet every Friday. Kasi wala naman tayo mag-schedule, di ba?
Okay, sir.
Tapos gawin niyo ito, ha? Itong tatlo.
Yes, sir.
Okay, make sure you should have done this before next Friday so that you can participate in the first activity. Okay?
Sir,
Yes.
pwede i-download ko siya sa hard drive ko na lang, sir. Kaya hindi ako sure kung makaya lahat ng laptop ko. Sir.
Ano yung laptop mo?
Ano pa siya, sir? Wala, tanong kung next na.
Anong memory?
Ay, mga 516, ano lang, 512
512 MB?
gigabytes, sir. Pero marami na rin ako na-download dito, sir. Mga ano rin.
Hindi, ang 512 gig na memory. No, it should be 512 gig hard disk.
Yes, sir.
The RAM. Ang RAM lang naman importante.
Ay, ang RAM ko po sir kay lang check ko. Um, 8 sir.
Okay kayo. 8 man po niya kuha.
Ay, ganun ba? Sige sir.
So no problem. Okay. I think this will run in 4 gig. But if you have 4 gig, you will have to stop your MySQL while running SQL Server. Okay? Para hindi mabagal, stop mo muna yung isa habang hindi mo ginagamit. For example, how do you do that? Okay. How do you do that? You just stop the service itself, no? Punta ka sa services. Can you do that now? Punta ka sa services.
Ay, yes sir.
Merong MySQL dyan, di ba? Do you have MySQL? Wala.
Wait lang sir, nag-open po sir.
Ako wala kasi hindi ko pa na-install. You know, to run services, you just click the start and then type services.
Wala pa sir, kaka-reformat ko lang.
Oh, that is good, no? Kung may MySQL, right-click mo lang tapos stop. For example, in my case, I have a SQL server. If I run MySQL, I stop the SQL server. Okay?
So pwede ako kasi sir, meron kasi ako parang yung project na nagagamit rin ng may SQL. So i-stop kung
Stop yung isa. Tapos i-run mo yung kabila.
Ay, okay.
Diba? Para hindi naman sila dalawa sabay.
Ay, okay. See.
So whatever you're using, you stop the other and use the one that you're using. Okay?
Ay, okay. See.
Para hindi maubos yung memory. But 8 gig is too large for this, no? Okay. Okay. So see you everyone next meeting. I hope more students attend, no? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Natapos na lang session. Di ko pa natapos ang installation.
Hindi ko pa yan matapos because I've told you in my case last year, I have to do it overnight. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Sige lang, bayaan mo lang. Still Friday naman ngayon di ba? Okay?
Opo, sir.
Friday. So, most probably you'll not have it. Okay? So bye everyone. No?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for coming. I'll upload the recording so you can, thanks for coming.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, sir.
Bye everyone.
Yes sir, thank you sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.